Welcome to another episode of the Coffee Break Podcast, where our mission is to share business ideas, practices, and strategies while we enjoy our cup of coffee. Today is going to be an interesting episode with a special guest. H.L. Flake is a hardware distributor. They sell locks and lock products to folks like us, a locksmith company. And one of their representatives, Alex Martinez, stopped by to have a conversation with us. And it's a very informative conversation, and we're going to be talking a lot about some unique things that they do to connect with their customer base. And I think if you replace the locksmith part of it with whatever your customer base is, you can take some of these ideas and apply them to your business model as well. So it'll be very helpful in that aspect. I'm very excited to be able to attend which we'll be talking about near the end of the podcast, the H.L. Flake Trade Show at the end of March. It's going to be March 26th through the 28th, and they have asked me to come down and teach a couple of classes. So we're going to be talking about how to scale your business and how to build a sustainable team. So those will be two classes that I'll have the privilege of teaching down at that trade show coming up at the end of March. You can check all of that out at hlflake.com. Just scroll down and click on the trade show banner right there in the middle of the website. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and have a conversation with Alex Martinez. So grab a cup of coffee and get ready.
We got so much to say. We got a podcast to make. We're sipping on lattes, and it's time for a coffee break. It's time for a coffee break. Oh, yeah.
All right, here we go. Alex Martinez, he's with us. Rapid fire.
Right.
You know the drill. 5 randomly selected questions with unknown point values just to get under your skin.
Yeah. I've been thinking about it the whole drive up here.
Well, I went really deep on these, and they are very random. I have no idea. I just randomly grabbed. I have a list of about 300 questions. Copy and paste.
All right.
Cool. Number 1, if you could eliminate one thing from your daily routine, what would it be and why?
From my daily routine.
Yeah.
It would have to be my lunch.
Really?
Yeah.
Just takes too much time.
Yeah, so I can get more work done. Yeah.
I would not go that. Lunch is a pretty prominent part of the day. You just want to
it's because I always tell myself I'm only going to be gone for like 30 minutes, and it always turns into an hour. And you know
a way to fix that? Juice. You have juice for lunch.
Yeah. Does it look like I have a lot of juice for lunch? Yeah, maybe I can start. How about that?
There you go.
Maybe I can start.
All right, number 2. How would you define success?
Oh, I don't think. I've thought about this one a little bit. It's not financial. It's not fiscal.
Yeah,
I think success can be defined by your attitude.
Yeah,
your way of looking at things.
It's very
positive
true.
Mindset.
Yeah.
Your mindset really, really, really should be what defines success, or.
We've been talking about that a lot, even within the realms of our business. Some of our leadership team, Mike has been talking about it a lot. There's a lot of things that you can't change, but one thing that you can control is your attitude.
Right.
And that can be a big determination of if you feel like you're at a level of success mentally just because of the attitude that you portray.
Right. Yeah. And then the other thing is, what kind of success are you having? Long-term success is hard.
Yeah.
Right. Because that could be years, months, days.
Sure.
Short-term success, that could be daily, hourly.
Yeah.
Every minute.
Yeah. What did I accomplish, and where's my attitude at this point? Yeah.
Right. And that can really, really change the way you're going about the day.
It is very true.
Just looking at it from a smaller point of view.
Cool. All right. Number 3. What do you know well enough to teach others?
Oh, let's see. I got a couple of things that I can do pretty good. I could teach somebody to fly fish.
Okay.
Yeah. And I could teach somebody how to ride a motorcycle. How about that?
Fly fish and motorcycles.
Yeah.
So what's the art of fly fishing?
It's all in the wrist. It is all in the wrist.
Now,
it's not about how strong you are.
Yeah.
It's about how fluid you are. How smooth are you? It's not mechanical. It's all about feel and touch.
I can see you as a fly fisherman.
Yeah.
I can picture the vest and the hat.
Not the vest, not the weird hat, just a t-shirt and some shorts. And
t-shirt and shorts. Oh,
and a long rod, and I'm good to go.
I didn't know that you could do fly fishing in a t-shirt. I thought you had to have the big waders and the vest and the hat.
So I live in Houston. We don't have a lot of mountains and streams. We have a lot of bayous. So,
okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to be wading in the bayou, but I will be fly fishing in the
bayou.
bayou.
So you do it on the shore.
Yeah, you can do it on the shore. You can do.
I'm learning something new.
You
I
can do it
didn't
in
know that was a
ponds and
thing.
lakes. You can use the bayou is really good, really productive.
Hmm.
You're not going to catch the prettiest fish, but you will catch fish.
Yeah. So you can tell that I'm a fisherman.
Yeah.
All right. Number 4. Tell us about your ideal day. If you could have just any ideal day, what would it look like?
Oh, an ideal day is getting my kid off to school easily, waking up simple, breakfast, out the door, on time, on schedule, getting to work on time, on schedule, having no major hiccups throughout the day, being home on time, having dinner with the family, and in bed early
All
would
right.
be
That's an
my
ideal.
ideal day.
Just
You know,
hitting all the time marks.
oh, yeah, because I'm just notorious for not being on time. And then I'm notorious for leaving work late
Yep.
and then getting home late.
That's part
and
of
then
it.
going to sleep late. So,
Which is why
Yeah.
it starts the day.
yeah, right. So if I can get all that in order throughout the day, you
Yeah.
know, that'd be so much better.
How old is your child?
I've got a 3-year-old son.
3-year-old son.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
A lot of fun.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he like to do body dives off of things and like jump off of things and
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He doesn't realize how heavy his head is sometimes, and he lets that big thing, you know, swing around sometimes, and he'll like headbutt you, like throw his head back or
Yeah.
whatever.
Does he throw things? Does he have good aim?
He doesn't have good aim, but he can throw things pretty good. He can throw baseballs, wiffle balls.
There you go.
You know,
I've got a 3-year-old. He's got really good aim. He likes to throw things at people's heads.
yeah. And then his uncle, my brother,
Yeah.
pulled a great uncle move and got him a Nerf gun for Christmas.
See, there you
So
go.
that has been a lot of fun when you randomly get shot by a dart, because now he's figured out how to work the mechanism to load the dart in there.
There you go.
So
So that's
yeah.
part of your ideal day is avoid getting attacked by
yeah,
your son.
it always makes me laugh because
There-
I'll put on like my jacket, like there's a dart in my pocket. Why is there a dart in my pocket?
Because you have a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
Number 5, if you could ask one person, alive or dead, any one question, who would you ask? And then what would you ask?
Alive or dead? Eesh. Who would it be? And what would I ask? Jeez, I don't know. I think it'd have to be somebody in entertainment, probably a musician.
Okay.
It'd have to be between a couple of different people. Stevie Ray Vaughan, maybe Kurt Cobain, probably Stevie Ray Vaughan. And what would I ask him?
If he likes fly fishing.
No,
probably.
because I know I'm pretty sure he didn't look at the type. Yeah, I don't know what I would ask him. I think I'd ask him how he felt about doing some of those collaborations he did.
Okay.
With some of the really big blues artists, the Albert Collins and the B.B. Kings of the world.
So by your answer, I'm going to go with the fact that you are really big into music.
Yeah, all types of music.
You're a musician as well?
Nope.
No?
I have
Just
a
enjoy
guitar,
it?
but I don't know how to play it. I would say I don't know how to play the guitar,
Yeah.
but I have a guitar.
That's awesome. I bought a bass guitar one time when I was a teenager and had the amp. And the only thing I bought it for is because I could make really loud. Doo, 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 doo. I never could really play
Yeah, my parents
anything.
made that mistake too. They bought
Yeah.
me an electric guitar, and then I would just make a lot of noise in my room.
Same. No clue. I was not playing anything that made any sense. I just made a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. You passed. Rapid fire.
Awesome, great.
5 questions. We'll give you a score of 793.
All right,
Congratulations.
I'll note that.
everybody's like, what does that mean? I don't know. It's more than one. So congratulations.
All right.
All right. So thank you for coming today. So you came all the way from Houston, Texas, just for this podcast, which is really exciting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, why not? Yeah, I would
That
say
was the only reason you were here, right?
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the North Carolina Locksmith Association trade show. Yeah, that's tomorrow.
to-
But no, this was a big part of why we're here early today. How about
Awesome.
that?
Well, we appreciate you stopping in. Got a chance to meet you a little less than a year ago.
Right, at the MSC show in San Antonio.
Yeah, back in Texas. And so I've had a couple of chances to talk throughout the last year or so, and really thought it would be cool. One of the things that really intrigues me about the company that you work for, H.L. Flake, and we'll kind of get into that in a minute, is the way that you guys have really connected with the industry, and specifically in a channel of with locksmiths or security professionals.
Right.
And I really want to dive into why that is the case, because as a distributor of of locking material and hardware and tools, like that's obviously your target market, the people that you're selling to, but you've done it in a unique way that not a lot of other people have. So I really want to kind of dive into that. But before we get to that, if anybody that's listening or watching this has no idea what H.L. Flake is, what that means, what the hardware distribution channel is, give us a little summary so they understand.
So we're a security hardware distributor based out of Houston. We've got locations in Memphis and Jacksonville. We were established in 1912, so we've been around for over 100 years.
All right.
And we've been serving the locksmith since then, since 1912, and that's been a big part of what we're doing. And especially over the last 20 years, I would say that's where we really aligned ourselves, is focusing on supporting the locksmith and the security professional.
So it's really, you kind of just, I don't want to say shifted gears, but you really kind of got defined as this is the way we want to go to market. This is the way that we want to be known as supporting this channel. Can you copy this key? That's a question we get asked about 3,422 times a year. And how can you actually be sure that the person who asked that question is supposed to get a copy of that key? Well, we think you should always know who can copy your keys to your business and your home, because it could be your neighbor, an old employee, a contractor, or even worse, your mother-in-law. At Loc-Doc Security, we believe in protected key systems, so you always know who has a copy of your key. To find out more, visit Loc-Doc.net or stop by our Charlotte location. Loc-Doc Security, helping you protect your people and your property. I had an opportunity to come down and visit your facility last year, and it was really cool because there was a couple of components, like you guys have your core values listed out, and that's a part of the conversation. Got a chance to meet the CEO and just really kind of talk through some of that stuff. And it was eye-opening, and it was one of the things that, kind of got me excited, because that there's a company out there that's really taking pride in what they're doing, some of the efficiencies that you guys are focused on in warehousing, and making sure that the experience that the customer is getting is the best and fastest and most responsive possible. Right. Talk through a little bit of why that's important, and the process that you guys have gone through to kind of implement some of that stuff.
So it kind of just gets back to who we serve. So we know that we're aligned ourselves with locksmiths, and that's who we want to sell to. Okay. We want to sell those security professionals, and we know by talking to them and having conversations with them what's important to their business to make them more efficient. Whether it's product availability, which is a large component, efficiency in getting that order out, and making sure they get that order accurately. Yeah. Right. No missing parts, no broken parts. Making sure it gets there on time and in full. Right. Yeah. So, that's kind of what we've aligned ourselves with, and we always keep that in mind when we're changing processes. Is how is this going to affect our customers? Because that's the goal, is to make things easier for them, even if it makes things harder for us. Ah, interesting. It should always be about the experience that the customer is getting whenever they're buying something from us or dealing with us for whatever reason.
And it seems practical. You explaining it that way, it seems very practical, but it's not very normal for really a lot of businesses. It's kind of taking the time to think through, all right, how should this process work? Well, let's go talk to our customers and see what's going to work better for them, because, especially in the service business, in the service industry, your customers are waiting on you. So now you've got to wait on a distributor to get the parts to you. And like you just said, hey, okay, so I ordered all these parts. I've just waited 2 to 3 days for them to arrive, and I got 9 of 10 that I was expecting. Right. No good. Now I've got to wait another 3 days for those to get here, or it's going to cost somebody extra money to ship it faster or expedite it. Right. So understanding that, and then working backwards of, okay, so what makes us more efficient and more practical? Some of the things that were kind of stuck out to me was how you've kind of rearranged some of your warehouse so that it makes it faster for people to get parts to pull. And, and kind of, I remember specifically, and hopefully this isn't any trade secrets for you guys, but where the order comes in, the hottest items are kind of in a path directly out to shipping, so they can grab that stuff fast. Kind of talk through how that came about. Like, I know you guys are big on process improvement. Right. Yeah. So we have metrics that we look at daily, monthly. We have operational meetings and weekly meetings that we attend, and we talk about, what are some of the things that we can make better. And, our operations department looked at a couple of things and said, we struggle at the end of the day getting all of our orders out. Where's the bottleneck here? And, with some tracking, we realized that our pullers were walking through the warehouse a lot to pull items. So, we thought, let's move those
A items to the front, make the path that they're walking shorter,
Yeah.
and then see if that makes us more efficient throughout the day.
Yeah.
And absolutely it did, right? So now they're spending less time walking around the warehouse. It's faster to pull those orders. There's no bottlenecking in the checking department and the shipping department. Everything flows to do a lot better. And what ended up happening was we were able to ship out more packages later in the day and get out earlier, which was, 3 wins.
Sure.
That's the best case scenario. So our customers are getting better service.
Yep.
Because we're not having a rush. We're making less errors.
Mm.
We're not leaving as late.
Mhm.
So which is good for us because we're not having to worry about overtime or overworking our employees. And then we're able to get more orders out, which means more customers can call us later in the day and we can get their orders out efficiently.
One of the things that really stuck out to me a lot too while we were walking through the facility and talking was how you guys were explaining some of your process improvement tactics and how, like, whenever you say, hey, this is maybe it's that we want to figure out how to get the orders faster out to the shipping department. It's not just one or two people that just sit in a room and just decide this is going to be the best process. From the description, and even I think I was talking to one of the folks in the shipping department that were actually packing, and they were talking about the fact that they were a part of that conversation. So you guys pulled people from different departments, maybe some that weren't actually associated with that actual process, to get a better, more defined understanding of how this can be done better, get some alternate perspectives and some alternate points of view to try to make that process as best as possible. How have you seen that? Guys, I think, process improvement is always really, really cool to watch, but how have you seen that impact the way that the business operates because of the collaboration?
That's a really good thing that you were able to note that we do that. We do that to kind of get that different perspective because you tend to get tunnel vision and you only worry about maybe your specific department or what your goal is.
Yeah.
And you don't really worry about, how is this going to affect other departments in the business?
Yeah.
Or maybe they've seen things in their in their career that have affected, businesses a different way. And they just look at it from a different perspective. And that for me, that's the best thing. When you can get more people in a room and it's constructive and you can really get something out of it, that's the best thing. And that way, when you make those changes, you're not just making them from those single mindset point of views. You're opening it up. You're talking to people who may not have any experience with what you're trying to do, but they just have a different perspective and they're looking at it from a different point of view.
Yeah.
And it really makes things easier for us. Whenever we're lining up and trying to figure out, what could possibly go wrong.
Well, the really cool thing too, that the way that it was described to me, and I guess from what we've seen in the past as well, is that now you actually have, so maybe it's not the perfect fix, but this is step one in trying to improve this process.
Right.
Rather than it just being a directive that says, this is how we're going to do this, you've got a group of people that have come together and said, hey, this is what we think is going to be better. Let's try this. And now you've got buy-in from everybody because you've had input from everybody. Right. And that's the process, like exactly what they were describing from the shipping department and all through the distribution component to say, hey, we all came up with this idea. So we all had buy-in to try it. And if it didn't work, then we all knew we could come back and discuss and figure out how to improve it. But it wasn't like, this is never going to work. We're not even going to try it just because base principle.
When you do it from that way, when you bring more people involved, there's owners.
Yeah.
So people know, what you have to do and what has to be done to be successful and efficient.
Yeah.
And it just makes things easier because now everybody kind of knows, all right, this is my responsibility. This is what I know needs to be done.
Yep.
So what are the actions that are going to have to be to get done to get this completed? And everybody knows it's not just from the top down directive. It's a collaborative experience and process.
Just a reminder, you're listening to the Coffee Break Podcast. Also, we wanted to let you know that our team puts together a weekly blog post. You can find it at locdoc.net/blog. It's guaranteed to raise your IQ by 12 points or your money back. So it's pretty much a win-win. All right, back to the conversation. Yeah, and I really appreciate the fact that I was able to have that opportunity to see kind of behind the scenes in your processes, because we take that type of stuff back to our business and we say, okay, hey, we've got this particular process that needs to be improved. And rather than just one or two people trying to determine what that is, we'll bring people from and I borrowed that idea from the conversation that I learned down there, because I think that it makes a major difference. So it's really cool that you guys have an openness to share and collaborate with others and say, hey, these are some of the processes that we're we're learning in our business or that we've applied in our business and showing other people that as well, because now you're helping to kind of create some connection point with them for future. So I think that's pretty cool. Pretty cool thing that you guys are doing there. What are some other components of that kind of back-end business development that you've seen be able to translate some of the lessons that H.L. Flake has learned that you've been able to partner up with the locksmith community, your customer base, to say, hey, this is what we've learned. Let's teach you this part of it so you can apply it in your world.
One of the big ones that we did last year is we began to categorize all of our items.
Okay.
Into different segments of what security hardware is, whether it's, automotive, commercial, access control, and that kind of gave us a better read on what's happening internally with our business, with what categories are overperforming and underperforming, and what do we have to do to be better. Got it. And then, we kind of started thinking about it, how could our customers, really learn and what can they gain from this? We actually rolled out a project and a report for our customers to be able to look and see how they're performing with their purchases with H.L. Flake, so they can use that as a way to measure their business and how they're performing. It's just one of those benefits that you get with doing business with H.L. Flake. Now you have access to these different reports, and you can start looking at your business and going, okay, I know I'm doing very well in X category, but I'm not doing so well in this category. What do I need to do internally to fix that? Yeah. That was a big one that helped us internally understand what's happening, and it helped our customers understand what's happening with their business. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting that, we've talked about this before, especially in a distribution model, it can be very transactional, be very much, we hold these widgets, you need these widgets, you pay us for this widget, you go do whatever you need to do with it.
Right.
And I think what I've seen from H.L. Flake and what I've observed is you guys have really taken a hold of the relational side of the business and trying to find alternate ways to create an entire support system for your customer base from a loyalty perspective, that they're going to come back to you because of that, rather than just the fact that you hold the widget that they need to buy to go sell to their customer.
Yeah, because we know that's not enough, right? There's no exclusivity in hardware. Yeah. You can find locks anywhere at any time. That's not enough to distinguish yourself as a distributor. We know that there needs to be added benefits, whether that's with our reporting capabilities or just, how long we're able to operate, whether it's, hey, we ship extremely late in the afternoon, which is very beneficial for locksmiths, because they can rely on us and know that if they get an order at the last minute of the day, they can call us and get that order out. Yeah. And that's what we've always kept that in mind, and what we're doing and how we're going about. All of our marketing is dedicated to the locksmith and security professional. That's what we're looking to do, and that's who we want to really empower, because it's not just enough to get all of their purchasing. Hey, that's great, but how can we help that customer grow their business? Yeah. Because then that's a win-win for us.
Sure. So another thing that you guys do to kind of teach and train and educate, you have a couple of trade shows. I know one big one in near your headquarters, or at your headquarters. Yeah. But you have a couple of them throughout the year, correct or no?
Yeah. So we have two that we do. Okay. We have the one in Houston that we do in March. Okay. And then we did one in Memphis for the last couple of years in October. Okay. And those are really focused around the locksmith security professional.
Gotcha.
And the classes that we provide are anywhere from technical classes in all types of fields, whether it's safe, access control, commercial, or automotive, and then as well as business classes to help, security professionals and locksmiths run a better and more efficient business.
Yeah. And so what have you guys seen from that? I mean, how you've been with the H.L. Flake how long?
More than half of my life.
More than half of your life.
Yeah, so I've been there over 15 years.
Oh, wow. So how have you seen that trade show progress, change, become more beneficial over the years?
So in the beginning, it was very transactional, right? It was come to our trade show, come look at our items, and come by, at the trade show. And then what we realized that there was a lot of demand for education, and technical education, and business education, stuff that'll help locksmiths run a better business. And the next year, we said, what we're going to do? We're going to offer a more robust training platform, and we extended the days. We made it a little bit longer the trade show, instead of having it at a hotel, we had it in our building, in our warehouse. So we could be more transparent. Customers could come in and see, the operation and how it's supporting them and how much, inventory we actually stock. And pick and pull for them.
And and that's legitimate. I mean, you literally walk through a red carpet in the front door.
You walk through all the aisles,
through the back door, and walk all the way down the aisles. You see everything on the shelf, and then you walk back into the back area where all of the tables are set up. And that's the kind of the conclusion of the event. But you have 2 days of tons of education. I mean, I don't know how many classes you guys have, but it's a large amount of a wide selection of classes on Thursday and Friday leading up to that point.
Right. Yeah. And, the one thing that we started doing a couple years ago is we started taking surveys from our attendees to get a better understanding of what they want.
Gotcha.
Because it's really easy to say, hey, I'm going to just pick these classes for next year. But no, let's talk to our customers and see what they want. What are they looking for? What's really going to draw them in? Because we want these, we want our customers coming back, and we want new customers coming to see us year over year. And we've seen great growth year over year from that trade show. We're expecting a lot of locksmiths this year.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Coffee Break Podcast. If this information has been helpful to you, or you just really kind of like our theme song, can you help us out by rating us on whatever app you're using? And if you get really fancy, how about sharing a screenshot on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or LinkedIn? Okay, enough of all this. Let's get back to the conversation. A lot of trade shows are on the decline, but this is growing annually.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's got to be something different in association with that.
Yeah, I think it's the education part of it. It's, we want the best educators out there. We want the best trainers. We align ourselves with all the bigger manufacturers and the smaller independent manufacturers to help provide classes that are going to be beneficial to the locksmith. And then, we think about everything. We think about what time of year are we doing it in? Is it going to work for our locksmiths? Is it during the school year? Is it during a holiday weekend? That's not going to work.
Sure.
There's just a lot of thought that goes into what we're trying to do. And the energy at that trade show, I might be biased here, but it's a really good energy. Puts a lot of pressure on the employees in the business, but it's well worth it.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you when I was there, I got an opportunity to kind of browse around, and I had a lot of conversations with a lot of the attendees, a lot of the other locksmiths that were there, and just kind of understanding and asking a lot of questions. Why are you here? And there was a guy that had come from Oklahoma, and there was a guy that was there from, I think, Indiana or something like that. They were all over the country. It wasn't just Texas. And I was just having these conversations with them going like, why do you come to this? And they're like, education. Like they're really doing things that help us as a business be better, or us as from a technical standpoint be better. And so we want to come in and be a part of it and support it. And that was the conversation that I had with everybody that was there, was pretty much along the same lines, that they'd really tied into understanding how the value add of that education component that you guys are putting on. So it's definitely working. And I think that there's always ways to improve that, obviously, but really taking it down into communicating that transformation from an efficiency standpoint down to those small businesses. Because you think about it, maybe it's one locksmith in a truck, right? But there's ways that they can be more efficient and be more have a better state of improvement for their business just by learning these small little things. You walk through a warehouse and you see how things are labeled and clean and organized, and you can find things faster because it's that way versus just random things all over on a shelf, right? So you can take all those things and apply it to your business, and then improve your bottom line as you proceed throughout the year.
Right.
Well, so real quick, just to kind of conclude on that. So if there's anybody that's watching or listening, I know there's people that are kind of connected into our industry. If they are interested in attending the trade show, what do they need to do? Hit
our website. It's www.hlflake.com. It's right on the homepage. Click the link, and it'll take you over to the registration portion of it. If you want to just attend the trade show, that's fine. We want you to do that. And then there's the education schedule that's also listed on there. Additionally, we have a party on Friday night to kind of celebrate, the event, and we have, some alcohol, we have some barbecue, live music. It's a really, really fun event. Not really a lot of product talk or business conversation happening. Just a good time. Good time for you to just be able to mingle and network with vendors, with your supplier.
Yeah.
or your peers.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of peer networking there and a live band last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we always have live music. We never have a DJ.
Yeah, it was a very impressive event, and something that I think anybody that's in the industry that is looking for continued education and a good partner to be associated with, I think is something to check out. So
yeah,
definitely would recommend that. Well, cool. Alex, thank you very much for your time today, for coming and joining us. I know you've got the North Carolina Locksmith Association trade show tomorrow when we're recording this, but then you've got the H.L. Flake Trade Show coming up.
Right behind it.
March what did we say? The
26th through the 28th. The last weekend of March.
All right. So make sure you check that out at hlflake.com. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, thank you, Alex, for joining us today. It's been a blast. We are very, very excited to be able to attend the trade show at the end of March down in Houston, Texas. And as I mentioned at the beginning, going to be able to teach a couple of classes there on how to scale a business and also on building a sustainable team. So that's going to be March 26th through the 28th. Make sure you check it out at hlflake.com. Click on that trade show there. If you're from Texas or really from wherever, there was people there from all across the country last year and every year. So it's a pretty exciting time. For those of you who are watching or listening for the first time, make sure you check out our podcast, all of the other episodes that we have available. You can find them at locdoc.net/podcast. The information is there for you. You can click subscribe on all of the platforms that we're available on. And this, if you're listening to this, is also available in video format. You can find it on Facebook and YouTube. Just search for LOCDOC and all of the videos will pop up and you can subscribe there as well or like the page because there's a new one of these episodes every single Tuesday at 9 a.m. and you'll definitely want to be subscribed to get the notifications when those come out because we have topics like this along the lines of business ideas, strategies, and practices every single Tuesday. And we look forward to seeing you next time right here on the Coffee Break Podcast.